All right. Gonna do a little unboxing of sorts. Maybe I should do something else first, so give people a chance to show up if they want. All right, I picked this thing up. I have a few other similar pieces of gear that I'll show along with it. This was at Five Below. It's a retail store in the United States that generally sells pretty cheap stuff, but it's been getting more expensive, no surprise. But this was $5. And it says 3-in-1 memory card reader. It's designed for phones mostly, but I mean it's USB-C, so you could connect it to a computer. My computer currently only has one USB-C port, so I won't be able to do that, but unless I adapted it. I don't know if I have an adapter for that, but I'm going to try this out and just do whatever else, question and answer or whatever, if you are wanting to talk camera gear. All right. I'll pop out a chat window. So I've been doing something called multi-streaming to different platforms. I would like to add a few more, but we'll see. I'm just doing 2 at the moment. I'm using a wireless microphone. I like to do a video on this as well, but I've recorded it, I just haven't gotten to the editing stage. There's another video that I'm working on at the moment regarding a computer back here. This is an old computer that's initially, I set it up for like a photo archive scan with, if you've watched this channel before, you know I use a few different pieces of software usually. So AC/DC Photo Studio Ultimate 2026. I put that on this computer back here, and it scanned my entire photo video archive, which is like 22 terabytes, which, I mean, for the span of time that I've been doing this, it doesn't feel like a lot, but it is a lot in practice. So that's the video that I'm editing at the moment. Oops, close that. But that edit will certainly take a little bit of time. I did a full record, like talking portion, but now I need to clip it up and add B-roll as I can. This video is not going to be super B-roll heavy, which is what I prefer, just so you don't see me pause and stuff, but it's so long at the moment that I'm just not going to have the material most likely, but we'll see. And I also recorded a thing on this wireless microphone setup. So this is a newer CM28, and it's hooked up to the computer, which is, I'm using OBS, Open Broadcaster software to do the streaming. And it's nice to have a little bit of flexibility with the wireless microphone sometimes. Well, I do have this thing as well. Yeah, and related to the tests and such, I have multiple cheap lapel microphones, and I did some tests, but I haven't even looked at the results, so I'm not sure if this setup's ideal with what I have available, but it is a thing. This is what I've been using usually. This is a Sony stereo lapel microphone. It's just a cheap, sorry, just a cheap microphone thing. But I've used this a little bit, so I know that it works well enough for people to hear me. So anyways, I guess I could start. I don't have any links to this thing because Five Below doesn't really do a good online store as far as I know. and they don't generally have like specific products to link. And of course, they're not an affiliate of mine or anything. But we can take a look and see if they have a link to it on there. Let's see. As mentioned, Five Below is a discount store, kind of, sort of. Relatively inexpensive stuff, but it has been getting more expensive. This surprisingly was $5. Usually their tech stuff is now like $5 to $7, and then there's more expensive stuff now too. They even added Lego recently, which is cool, but of course those are not super cheap. All right, Five Below. Check out their websites. Block. All right. Yeah, there's my edit. This thing is... I've been clipping it, but it's still over an hour. That's that photo archive thing. Anyways. So this is the place that I bought this memory card reader from. Let's see if they... Maybe they did improve their website, because I see more products. Let's see. 3 in 1. Oh. So mine doesn't have a brand on it, but it looks very, very similar. So mine's not in a box. Interesting. That one looks higher quality, slightly, and it's got a logo on it. But I didn't see it there. Let's see, is it item 9? I don't see the same number. Oh, it does say UPT 1612. So this is like the slightly more generic version of what we're looking at on the website, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll put this link in the description of the video. But like I said, it's not an affiliate link, so I don't get anything from it. I don't know if Five Below has an affiliate program. I'll have to look into that, because I do go there occasionally. It's got a lot of fun products and such, like candy and random stuff, books, you know. All right, I'll save that. You could also put in the chat /pin. Whoops. But like I said, I'm open to camera talk, or if you want to ask for ideas on stuff. I just don't have a ton of access to equipment these days, so my knowledge on the subject is not amazing. I can look at like stats of, or I mean specs of computer gear. I mean, when I'm saying computer, photography gear and such. But I don't know how helpful that would be to you all. Anyways. Yeah, this does generally look like it. So it's got micro SD, standard SD card, and then a USB-A port. Pretty cool. I do have a similar one, but it's Insignia, which is Best Buy's brand as far as I know. I'll leave that up. You can take a look at it in the future. But I'm going to go over to the hands-on area, and we'll take a little closer look at this thing, which I've got right here. So let's head over there and take a look. That's why I'm using a wireless microphone. Bring over the chat thing. Got a tiny little, well, it's maybe 5.5-inch screen or something with the chat stuff on it. Got some fruit snacks and a drink. But maybe I don't want to do that and make weird noises on camera. All right. So if you're curious, the way that I have this set up, obviously hands-on area, I have a Sony ZV-E10 with a 16 to 70 mm f4 lens. So you can see it zooms in quite a bit. I have it set to manual focus. I just don't trust it enough to not jitter and stuff. And then also Atmos Ninja 5 recorder, which is the thing that pushes the HDMI to the computer. And I have a cheap, junky HDMI capture device through USB is the computer for that one. All right, there it is. I actually, I'm trying to think of, I might have streamed this on my technology channel, but I picked up a phone specifically for like social media stuff. This was $20 US. Not the case was a little bit more, but this case is kind of junk. I mean, the case was maybe $8, but it's junk. It works well enough. Anyways, this phone is locked to one of the carriers, but it really doesn't matter because I just use it with Wi-Fi. But this will be the example for anything. It works well enough. So obviously cameras come with apps. I do have a few of the apps on here. SnapBridge is the Nikon one, or Nikon, however you want to pronounce it. And then Imaging Edge is the Sony one. I don't even know if this camera has Wi-Fi. I kind of think it doesn't. It's the original A7S. Let me see if I have a battery in here. Oh, it does have battery. But we can make an attempt to connect at least the Nikon one, Z5. This thing in a cage at the moment. Oh, I see a plane. So it's in airplane mode. Maybe it does. Interesting. Go to the menu. Come on. Menu. Let's see. Nice thing about zoom lenses. Whoops. Is that we can zoom in. I need to get some type of focus here. I should have put the polarizer on there. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know. It does have a connectivity thing. Ah, interesting. Yeah, so maybe this will work. I'll turn that off. One Touch NFC. You know, this phone actually does have a NFC. No notifications, please. Agree and proceed. So this is the Sony one. I just accidentally touched it, but I guess this is what you're greeted to when you want to look at it. That's cool, I guess. You need to agree to the privacy policy. Connect to the internet. Now. I don't know how I feel about this. So let's see how big this is. This is kind of one of the problems with society. Like, who's gonna read this thing realistically? Yeah, kind of crap. Okay. And there's more. Purpose of developing and improving Sony Group companies' products and services. Let's not disagree and proceed. Oh wait, there's more. I don't know what that is. Skip. No sign in. Oh my gosh. Whoops. I wasn't going to do the apps first, but here we are. Connect to the cameras. Allow access to nearby devices. Okay, let's turn on Bluetooth, and then this thing has an NFC. So this is near field communication protocol, I think. I think that's what it means. Usually it's like a tap device. I don't know how well it'll work on here, but we'll give it a shot. So, precise location information while using the app. Allow. Yeah, it's not in the list. Models other than above. Camera connection. Scan, curate, connect. One touch. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is interesting. So this is your one potential option for getting photos from your camera to a phone. And we can see it's already kind of a process, right? So it says, and I feel like this is going to be the easiest option, the NFC thing. Let's connect with the camera through the one-touch NFC, perform Wi-Fi connection, scanning. Okay, so one-touch NFC. I selected it on the camera here. Smart something. Select the application. Okay, I might need to switch. I might need to download the old app because this is not Play Memories. But we'll see what happens. Tap here. Touch your smartphone to the camera. Nothing's happening. Maybe the case is a problem. Well, yeah, maybe the case is a problem. Okay, that didn't work. So this mentioned Play Memories. It's an older Sony. That's another thing. You know, this is Imaging Edge on there. I'll take a look and see if it's available on the Google Play Store. Let me see. Sony Play Memories. Is it a space? It's one word. Try to get that focused decently. Yeah. Application management. Wow, smart remote. I wonder if they completely removed it from the Play Store. So that's pretty bad if that's the case. Maybe I just can't use the NFC feature. Play memories. I see some random company. Oh, that feels very scammy. This is honestly a little questionable, because see how the company name is clearly not Sony? 100,000 plus downloads, and then they show Sony cameras in the thing. This is very, very odd. Hmm. 1.1 stars. So apparently Sony screwed over a lot of their old camera users, because I'm not seeing it in here. Well, let's try see if it will work in a different way. Just connect. See. Play mode sent. Why is this disabled? This function is disabled. Access point. Will connect using SSID and password. Let's see if that exists on here. I think I'm going to give this up though, because it's kind of not the point, besides showing that, okay, there's a reset feature. I don't want to necessarily show this on camera. Access point set, searching. And I have a huge list of options here. Oh, do I have to connect to the wireless network rather than... All right. Is there a QR code? Display MAC address? No, that's not it. Reset network. I don't see a... Press the WPS button. No. I don't see an easy way to do this. So maybe I would have to connect to my wireless network and then manual registration. Okay, there's an SSID. Yeah, I think the point is that doing the wireless thing isn't necessarily easy, at least on this old camera. So that's that. Your alternative is something like this. You can take the memory card from the camera, put it in here, connect this to the phone. We'll do that. And then maybe I'll try the Z5 is, I know this thing works with wireless, but we'll try this first. So look at the thing in a little bit of detail. So it's got different ports on it, micro SD, standard, and then the USB-A port. It does have a lightning connector, which is a Apple thing, which basically got replaced by USB-C for most of their stuff, I would assume. I don't know much about Apple products. So, yeah, pretty simple. It should just work. Like I said, this package has no specific brand on it, but we saw on the Five Below website that it did have a brand name in a different case for some reason, or container. All right. Let's pop this thing open. Sorry, I have to keep refocusing just in case. Oops. There it is. Get rid of this packaging. All right. Oops. Let's see. Feels decentish quality-wise. So that is movable. Then if you do want to use this for whatever reason, yeah. I wish this was a micro instead. But I do have an old micro USB card reader. This is the Insignia branded one. I have some Velcro on it, so I'm not gonna take this off because it'll be super sticky. I did drop this in water once, but I think it still works. There's not much to these things, but I think they're a decent alternative. So there's the micro, and let's see if this fits. Yeah. Okay, that's why it looked a little small, because it only goes in so far. Like right where that notch is on the SD card. There's a bit of information as well, it looks like. Basic operation. All right. Okay, UpTech. So it's the UpTech 3-in-1. All right. Pretty simple. A bunch of memory cards here. I don't really know what's on these, so I guess we'll find out. I will probably take a first look off camera, but there wouldn't be anything too exciting. So it looks like they have to go upside down. Yeah. Well, that just barely fits in there. Interesting. Yeah, that's as far as it goes. Compared to this one. No, it doesn't go in there that much either. All right, and I also have a few other little dongle things, but these don't have memory card readers in them. You could always connect memory card readers, so I do have one here as well. We can connect. So technically I should be able to connect the memory card reader to this thing as well. So now that I've got a card in there, it should be as easy as plugging this in. Make sure it's focused. Yeah. I don't think it matters which direction because it's USB-C. So look at the screen here. You just ordered an Anker micro SD and SD card reader that's about 1.5 inches long. Plugs straight into the phone. It takes up no space. Nice. So we can see on the screen here, oops, sorry, the reflections. Scroll down and then it sees it. I'm going to do this off camera for a second, just in case. Oh, and it says, in this case, you can decide on which app to use. So we've got, this is an Android phone, of course, Files by Google or the default, like built-in browser thing. All right, so it looks like I have Z5 photos on here. And they are raw photos. Let me see if I can even view these. Oh, I can. All right, so this is from my mock product photo shoot with a pen case that a company sent me. But clearly we can see it's not viewing them, but at least on this version of Android, if I do look at the image, it's in there. So very, very simple. I'm reading it off of this directly. It's pretty quick. You can zoom in. So, I mean, that's as kind of easy as it gets, right? I can't really scroll, it looks like. There's a Google Lens option. Let's see what, install the Google app to use Lens. Okay. I think I disabled that app. Let's see. Yeah, pretty cool. It's quick too, surprisingly. And these files are 24 megapixel raw images. Man, I remember when early Android was so slow and bad that it was struggling just to view pictures. So this is cool. Yeah, I can really get in there. I would assume this is just the built-in app that came with this device, so I'm not sure. You know, this specific app won't be available on every phone, most likely. Unless it's a Google one. It might be. Yeah, maybe that's the official Google Files app. Pretty cool. I'm surprised how quick it is. Yeah. Can really get in there to see detail. And keep in mind, this phone was $20. It was a prepaid one that I found at a store just randomly. But there's a lot of cheap prepaid phones. You can just go buy one at a random big box store and then use it like this. It's really cool. This specific phone is a AT&T branded one, but it's some random company that makes it. And I think it has 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage for $20. That's pretty good in my opinion. Nice. All right, let's connect a second memory card while this is still attached and see if it can do 2 of them at once. I kind of doubt it. Probably uses the same stuff. Okay, it jumped back. All right, so it fully removed the notification. Maybe I can just go into the Files app, wherever I put that. Here we go. Let's see. SD card. Other storage. Yeah, I don't think you can connect two memory cards at the same time. Let's see. Yeah, just deleted some stuff on there. So it's not the best view. All right. Yeah, so it's grayed out. Internal storage, and then this is something else. So sadly, does not do two at once. Let me pull the standard SD out of there. All right, so once I pulled the standard SD, I see a notification on screen at the top here. Yeah, so it saw that new one. Pretty cool. Let's explore. So this probably would have GoPro footage on it. Again, I think maybe I should look at it off screen for a second. Yeah, it's just got GoPro footage. Okay. So this is, oh, it's going slow. So it's being read from the card reader. This was the Vintage Computer Festival Midwest. Let's see if I can zoom in on the video. That's pretty cool. This is almost a nicer way to view it than some other options. Oops, don't want to zoom in there. That's pretty cool, but it is very laggy. Now it could be just because I'm reading it off the drive itself, but this specific footage was probably, it's got the taller aspect ratio, but it's like close to 1080p. I don't think I used the 2.7K recording on that. But it works. That's cool. Yeah, and then you can see all the other GoPro footage here. Let's try another one real quick. Yeah, it is laggy. Huh. Oh, that tower, the tower of disk drives. Where was that? Yeah, so right there. See if I can pause it. Stop. Whoops. Oh, I think I skipped it. Nose cam. Now this is a tower of Commodore disk drives. That was cool. Yeah, the warping of the GoPro lens. They were straight. All right. Neat. Very easy. I think this is a great alternative to having to mess around with Wi-Fi stuff. And it clearly just worked. So that was nice. Alternatively, this is an older one. This is a micro. So your phone does need support for the OTG on the go protocol. I don't know if it's really super relevant with USB-C stuff. Well, sorry. I don't know if it's super relevant with USB-C stuff because that generally should work no matter what, but I could be wrong. Anything relatively new should be able to use stuff like this, but with older phones, like when I was using this micro SD, the phone specifically needed that OTG support, and not every phone at the time that I had was able to do that. I do have an adapter with USB-C, so maybe this will work. I don't know. I could try connecting this old one to the phone and see what happens. All right, it is connected. Does it work? Okay. So far, no. Put this memory card back in. Nope. Let me try the micro SD. Nope. Yeah, so maybe adapting it, it's not going to work. I'll try it upside down. No, that didn't work either. All right, so the adapting this old thing's not going to fly. I don't have any phones offhand that have the older port type, but know that it's at least an option potentially. You can also use a standard memory card reader with some sort of thing. I don't know if I have a USB-A to C adapter. I might. I'll take a quick look and see if I do. Here's one big container of random computer stuff. There's a SATA drive inside. Another USB connector. VGA to, what is that, DisplayPort? I think I got that from a laptop. I don't think I've ever used it. Oh, do you remember these things? Wi-Fi. So it was a SD card that had Wi-Fi in it. And certain cameras could use the SD card with Wi-Fi in it to connect to things. So there's the special reader for it. I don't think I have any cameras that would be able to use it. Oh, here's a USB-C to USB-A. We'll try this. All right. Another memory card reader. This is a Best Buy branded insignia thing. Let's try that as well. And one thing that you could do with all of these little dongles and stuff is that you could do like multiple backups of your photos on the fly, because a lot of these have the additional USB-A port on them. So that might be a nice little additional backup setup. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else that's interesting in here for today. Oh, there's another one. I don't know where I even got these things. It's got kind of a metal case to it. All right, whoops. There we go. All right, so we've got a traditional card reader. Got some Velcro on the bottom of it. Pop that open. Oh, these things are really nice. They are, geez, what is the name? I think it's 3M. Something ties. Sorry, I do have a video on this thing on the channel actually, but I can't remember the name offhand. Quick ties, one ties, something like that. They're probably Velcro branded. All right. Let's see. There's the port. So clearly this is a USB-A port. Can't really connect it to a phone, but I do have a few adapters we can try. I don't know why this one's longer than this one, but I'll try the big one. All right, so now that converts to USB-C. Turn this back on. Okay. Does have a light on there. It's a good sign. Try another memory card. So this has a bunch of ports. It's got the compact flash, 2 different SD card slots, or no, 3 different. Oh no, this is XD. Yeah, XD slot. And then 2 SD memory stick, and then the micro. And also, yeah, 2 memory stick types. I'll just try one of these ports. There we go. Oh, it's reading it. So this appears to work as well. You don't need a specialty setup, you just need a proper adapter, it looks like. Yeah. We'll use the same app. So, yep. Let's go in there. Seems a little bit slower. Let's pick something. And okay, so this was at a garden that I went to and did a photo walk. Yeah, same function. Very nice. Cool. There's some thing on the screen. Anyways, that works as well. So I think that's a nice alternative. If you don't want to, if you already have a card reader, maybe just look for a conversion from USB-A to USB-C. The specific one, it's a little bit longer, and it fully goes in to the port. Let's try this little one. Well, that one is a little bit shorter, but it does mostly go in the port. We'll try this one too. Not really sure why I have 2 different ones that are different sizes. Try a different port on the thing. Okay, this one appears to work as well. Yeah, cool. Pick a random photo. Yep. Very nice. Should exit out of there before I remove it. Let's see, what else do we have here? That was nice. I've shown this on, I think I showed this on my tech channel. It's just a power plus USB-A. So you could do that and break out to USB-A itself. So if I wanted to directly, I mean, sort of directly connect the card reader without this thing, I could try that. Oops. So that's connected. Yeah, I think this will work as well. Let me get that same card. Whoops, upside down. It's reading it. Yep. Yep. There we go. Cool. So that's another alternative. Some sort of dongle with USB-A, standard card reader. And this one, for example, has audio port. So you could get the standard card reader and be able to do 3.5 millimeter audio jack. That's cool too. Let's see, is there any other combo that I want to try here? Oh, I should test the USB-A on this one. See, maybe we can do two things at once. So connect this. I'll put in one of these cards. Let's make sure that works, that connected. We'll explore. And just make sure, see what's on here. So I do have some Sony photos and okay. So here is a Sony RAW photo. And I think it was the A7S. That one works. Let's try connecting something to the USB-A port. That's really, there we go. So it is reading. Go back. All right. This still works. Oh, wow. This is cool. So it actually sees both. So if for whatever reason you want to do two drives at once, this looks like it's going to work. Come on. I don't know which one just once. I think. Okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah. Very cool. So it's capable of this. All right. So it's capable of reading two at once. You could put what are those called? Thumb drives. Maybe put a thumb drive so you can directly back up at the same time. I mean, you could technically back up to another memory card like this as well. So for example, let's say I wanted to back up a few of these pictures. Try to get a decent number of them. So it takes a few seconds at least. Whoops. I just screwed it up. There's a select all. Yeah, so select all, copy, copy to. And then I should be able to pick the drive. Yeah, there's two different drives on here. So this is kind of a instant back, like you could do two backups at the same time. You could back it up. Well, I'm not sure, maybe Android doesn't allow you to do multiple transfers like that, but maybe it does. But I have the two things here, which are connected through the dongle. And then of course it has built-in storage on here, and this specific phone has a SD card, micro SD card inside of it at the moment. So I could do 4 backups if I really wanted to this thing. That's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't really know which drive it was, but we'll see what happens. It says copying 992. Whoops. It's going to let me see a transfer speed. Maybe not. Yeah, so it's not going to let me see how fast it's going, but it is working. That was almost 300 raw photos. And it appears to be doing its thing. So if we look on there, it is, yeah, as far as I can tell, I selected, so it's pulling from this card here, it's going through the phone, and then it's going to this card reader and it's writing it to this one. Or it might be the other direction. I'm not totally sure. So that's pretty cool, but it is not super fast at the moment. Yeah. I mean, it's going along. It's a few gigabytes. So I canceled that. I don't really need to transfer all those. Yeah, so here's what it copied in that minute or two. Let's pick one of them. Cool. Yeah, this is surprisingly functional. And I haven't had any quirkiness to it. Very cool. Like I said, I got this at Five Below, the retail store, for $5. So it was not below $5, but it was not over $5, which is kind of their thing these days, is over $5. But I would say that's a nice little thing you could keep in camera bags or something. You know, if Wi-Fi is causing you issues, this feels like a really nice little quick option to get photos on your phone. Or technically you could put things from your phone to the memory card and then connect it to the camera if you wanted to. Yeah, $5. I'll do a little zoom in again. I don't know if you're from the United States, but it is Five Below. That's the retail store. Pretty cool. I'm really surprised that the USB-A port and the memory card works at the same time. So you're saying if I had known, I would have gone there before checking Amazon. Yeah. Yep. I just randomly went there today and I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. They also have some film cameras there, like little point and shoot film cameras and tiny little digitals, but those are more expensive. I think those were like $20. Besides that, not really. I think I'm gonna, obviously we could try to connect this thing to the wireless and see how easy it is. This is the Z5 or Z5 as some people call it. I don't think I've ever tried connecting these two. So in the menu here on the Z5, oops, focus this. There we go. Oh, I don't have a memory card in here. Whoops, where is the specific one? Nope. I just don't know what's on all of these cards. Try this one. See if it, okay. Yeah, that does work. So that's, focus, yep. So this, you're saying, just bought your first camera after watching a review on the HX80. Oh, wow. Ended up with the RX107. That was probably pretty expensive. I was sad to see, yeah, I don't have access to much equipment. So I used to have a camera store in my area that would allow me to go there and film, but they closed. The owner retired, and I did not have hundreds of thousands of dollars to take it over. And I didn't want to get in debt. And no one else took up the call of running a camera store. So it closed, sadly. But that was kind of a nice little option. I've considered renting equipment, but I mean, that's another cost. And I don't get a huge amount of viewership on my videos usually. It really depends, but only like a handful of the videos I've made would have gotten enough views to justify the cost of renting equipment. So that's kind of the reason I haven't been able to look at too many cameras. But yeah, the Mark 7 or the RX100 that's a really nice, small, compact, good zoom range to it. I think that's the long zoom one, right? Because they have two different lens setups for the RX100. All right, let's go into the menu. Let's see. It's been a while since I've tried to do the wireless connection stuff. So actually the app that you'll be using, if you want to use an app, is the Imaging Edge. That's the Sony one. They used to have one called Play Memories, but this camera uses that old app, so I don't know if I can even connect this wirelessly anymore. Yeah, so you'll be able to use that app most likely on your new camera. Let's go to the SnapBridge one. Heard a few people complain about crashes with the app. I haven't used it, at least not recently, because this is technically I do have a camera or two that would work with it, but I haven't tried it, at least not recently. Actually, the camera I'm using to film this would work, but I don't know if I can connect it right now. Let me see. I won't be able to show it because I'm using it to do things, but let me see here. Actually, maybe I can show it. Kind of. Well, if I go into HDMI, okay, I'll just turn on the wireless. Smartphone connect, Wi-Fi settings. So I can turn off airplane mode, smartphone connect, connection. Oh, it turned the screen off probably. Let's see. You can still see the top down maybe. Let's see what's being shown. Switch to the top down. If I still have a top down. There we go. Okay, that doesn't work. There we go. That's as good as I can get for the moment. Whoops. Yeah. So Imaging Edge. And then this is the ZV-E10. Camera connection. So scan QR code, which there is a QR code. This is the rig. There is a code on the screen. Let's see. All right. Let's position the QR code in the middle of the screen. It's not cooperating. Come on. Yeah, for some reason I'm holding it up to the camera, but it's not reading the QR code. Maybe if it's brighter. Oh, there we go. Connect. Searching for device. Connect. That wasn't too difficult. All right. So it might be good. I can import, I can do remote shooting. It says necessary to set Bluetooth to off in the smartphone when the movement of the shooting screen is not fluid. Okay, sure. So this can kind of be a multi-view thing here. Switch back to the hands-on. Oh, it does work. That's cool. Let's pull up my fruit snacks. Went to McDonald's today. Sorry. Yeah, that's cool. So here is the app with the camera that we're using to film it. Kind of a weird fourth wall breakage. Maybe I could get a stand for this so I don't have to hold it. Do have a bunch of things to potentially hold it up. This one might work. It's gonna be a little too tall. There we go. Bunch of little tripods and stuff. Don't know if it worked as an extension of the screen. Yeah. Yep. It will depend on your camera, but I would assume yours will be able to do that because it's pretty advanced. Oops, sorry. Got a tripod. Might be a little too big. We'll see. So this is a Ulanzi claw system tripod. They had actually sent me some of this equipment in the past, years ago at this point. It's pretty nice. So you've got the quick release piece and then the ball head portion. I've got some random things for phones. This one will probably work. There we go. Oh, is that pushing on the... Nope. Well, that just barely fits. Okay, maybe this one's not the best option, but it'll work. Yeah, generally the apps have from the main manufacturers have a decent amount of functionality to them. With the remote shooting, you can of course copy photos over, but a lot of the time too, you can also push GPS information from the phone to the camera photos, which is a nice little benefit. So there's that. Whoops. Just kind of arrange it. See if I can make the screen brighter. All right. So we are using a camera to remote control itself and display it at the same time. And then I can actually record in the camera while it's doing that. Although it might not be in the right mode. Oh, it does work. So I'm recording, outputting HDMI to the computer, and I'm recording in the camera with remote control. So like I said, I could adjust settings here. So that's 1600 ISO, or lower it to auto 200. There's manual focus. I could go into AFC, so that's automatic focus center point at the moment. So pretty cool. There's a feature to rotate the screen, it looks like. Or did that flip the screen? Oh, there we go. Yeah. It's a little laggy, but not bad. This is actually more featured than I remember seeing. So this is pretty cool. Like I said, the camera that I'm using for this right now is the ZV-E10. It's an APS-C mirrorless camera from Sony. It's outputting the HDMI, it's recording internally, and the HDMI is going through an Atmos Ninja 5 recorder. And then that pushes HDMI pass through to the computer. It's pretty cool. I don't know if there's anything else in here that would be interesting to look at. I'll stop that. And then, okay, this is locking exposure, AEL. Got the display modes. Just looks like it hides the information. There's different, oh, is this manual focus? Okay, I think this might be actual focus through the app. Although it's kind of not super intuitive. Or, I mean, easy to quickly change. Interesting. I don't know if I can focus with the tap. It is focus. Oh. Okay. Yeah. If I can there we go. Is that refocused? So we've got, if I go into non-video mode, it's probably going to mess it up. But there is a bunch of options down here too. So program mode, photos, aperture. You're saying you can tap to focus. When you touch the screen, it blinks. Yeah, I noticed that. Let's see if it, I don't know if I have a good way to test this out. Let's see. Maybe if I move it a little bit closer and then zoom out a bit. Just back here. You can tap on that camera in the background. Can't really move this up any closer. Let's see. Nope, no, that's not. Oops. phone keeps adjusting the screen brightness on me. Where is the auto? There is a way to disable automatic brightness on the screen, but I don't see it in this list here. I can screen record. That's cool. Yeah, so I pretty much just got this phone just for this type of thing because it doesn't have any. I mean, I do have a account logged into it, but I don't have any messaging stuff, so it won't show up, you know, when I'm doing things like this, which is the main goal. But I could go into the settings and see if I can fix this brightness thing. Screen. Where is screen? I miss it. Oh, display. Adaptive brightness. There we go. So that's off. Let's see if we can go back into the app and it will. Oh, it disconnected. That's okay. I can. So yeah, so I mentioned location information linkage. To focus. That's a cool feature if you want GPS in the photos. But I'm not gonna do that. You can remote power off the camera. Huh. Oh, I can just press start here, it looks like. So there's a little start button. So before proceeding, first make the settings on your camera to connect. Yeah, it should be good. Now it might turn off the screen again. Maybe I should not eat things when I have a lapel microphone on. So doesn't look like it wants to reconnect. Come on. Maybe I have to go into the smartphone connection. It says on. What is this? Cannot establish Wi-Fi. If you completed the operation, yes. What the heck is this? I don't know what that was. Let me try that. So I know the screen went dark again. Let's see if that works. Well, anyways, I'm gonna exit out of that. It does work. It's just a little quirky with the reconnection, I guess. But that was cool. It had a lot of features to it. Very nice. I did switch mostly to Sony for video stuff because the HDMI performance is pretty quick. Yeah, no problem. I think that's all I wanted to show here. I could connect this camera over here, but I don't know. I'm gonna skip that. That's the Nikon Z5 Nikon. Go up to the computer and then we can maybe just browse cameras for a little bit. Then I'll end stream. All right. So that is a fun little. This thing was a cool little option and easy to pick up locally. There we go. I'll switch my microphone setup. Like I said, I'm using this wireless lapel microphone. It probably doesn't sound amazing. And this is a Sony, cheap Sony lapel microphone. But this is the newer CM28. Comes in a pack of 2 of the transmitters. And you can actually record internally in the transmitter for a backup. I didn't do that today, but that's a nice addition. And then the receiver is connected to the computer at the moment. But I'm gonna switch off to this thing. Just pretty easy. All right, now it's gonna be probably a little bit quieter. But yeah. Whoops, I just pressed the wrong thing. All right, very nice. Switch to that. So this is one of my videos I'm working on. The recording's an hour and something, and I'm still, I mean, I've clipped some of it, but this is a lot. This specific video is on using this program to scan my entire photo archive. So it's like 22 terabytes, around that, which is a lot, but also doesn't feel like a lot for how long I've been doing this. But that's going to take a while to edit, for sure. We could look at some, yeah, here's that memory card reader. Now, the box and stuff is different than the one that I have, but it is the same company. So I would assume this is the same exact thing. It just looks a little bit different. But yeah, $5. That was nice. This is the little screen I'm using for the chat. So this is a Viltrox screen that they had sent me at one point. And that's got the 2 little chat windows on it. So you're saying the audio from that mic sounded good? This one? This is Shure MV7. And then this one is, I don't know if it has a model name on it, but it's a Sony lapel microphone. Yeah. This is my normal talking to the camera setup. Oh, the baby mic? Okay. Nice. Yeah, I also have in OBS, which is the program I'm using to stream. It has a noise gate and or like noise reduction in it, so this won't sound as good without those settings probably. But yeah, it's decent enough. I could pull it up on Amazon. Let's see. I don't know if they sell this specific version anymore, but I have, yeah, they have a newer one. All right. So this is basically the same thing, but it's a newer version of it. The ECM LV1. So it's a stereo, and then on the sides of it, that's where the microphones are. Okay, that comes with a foam. That's nice. And it's got the same clip, which rotates. That's why I had it like this. Yeah. Pretty decent for the price. Actually, I think, I don't know if you're into YouTube, but there's a guy named Lazy Game Reviews, LGR, he uses one of these as well. I've seen him with it in some of his videos. Yeah. So it's definitely kind of good enough for the price. The black one would be nicer, just not to be as flashy on the shirt. But I don't know if I want to spend $35. Anyways, we could take a look at... I did look at news recently, so there's probably not much in the way of new stuff to talk about. Now it looks very clean. I'm interested in recording audio too. Okay. Yeah. I think it's a decent-ish starter option. So that's the ECM LV1. I'm not sure on the one that I have, like the model name, but it's basically the same thing. Yeah. And with these wireless things, I wouldn't, again, this is not probably ideal, but it works. So, and that's the CM28 from Newer. And I bought them used. It was pretty cheap. Let's see. Well, I'll use the same page here. You can get it with a case. It depends on if you want to use it like in a mobile situation. It has these little pins on the bottom for charging. But I just use the USB-C port on the side. So I don't have the case thing with it, and it's got some buttons on the other side. So this is the one that I have. And then I got it used, so it was cheaper than... I think it was around 40 that I spent on this, which is really, really reasonable. But it doesn't look like they have used ones at the moment. Do you know of any cold shoe that I could add to the RX 100 without having to order a small rig? Oh, yeah. Saying I don't want to have an increase in size. Let's take a look at the camera. Five, 6, 7. See if there's a... Oh yeah, that's expensive. Does it have... Oh, it doesn't have a hot shoe. Yeah, that's tough. This is really... The only mounting point is the tripod. Yeah. I feel like the cage is probably going to be the only option for you. 2 years, yeah. Those are the strap connections. Yeah, there's no other mounting point, so you're probably going to have to use some sort of cage or some sort of like half cage, which might exist. We can take a look at Amazon. Would probably be the best place. Using hair tie to hold the transmitters of the camera. Yeah, this the ones that I have, it doesn't have a hot shoe connection or a tripod connection. It's just a clip. So yeah, you would have to... The hair tie or something similar would probably make sense. You could connect it to the strap connection maybe on the side. Let's see. Whoops. Yeah, there's nothing on the top. It looks like you could connect to. Yeah, the strap connection maybe. Just use, like you said, use a zip tie or like some type of easy quick release loop or something. Probably be the best option. Yeah. Actually. Turn this thing off. Yeah, so this is the receiver for this specific one. And all it has is the clip on the back. So that would actually work with some sort of tie. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't add some sort of other way to connect it. But I just clip it to a thing over there by the computer. Obviously, you don't have to buy these. I mean, they're okay. It's just, I know that it works okay. Yeah. I think another brand of the wireless stuff is Hollyland. I think a lot of streamers use that brand. So that's probably a good one to look at as well. Let's see. But yeah, these are cheap. Pretty cheap. And they have different versions of it. So there's one, for example, that this looks like a phone connection. And then you've got two transmitters. And the one with the case. Yeah. So the Hollyland brand is pretty well known. They have a ton of different options. I don't know. I haven't used these, so I can't say what would make the most sense to check out. But they do more professional stuff as well. Yeah, yeah. Mm. That one's a little bit cheaper. Let's see. Yeah. So for like this thing, for example, it doesn't have the internal recording in the transmitter, but this one does. This has 4 gigabytes of storage on each one of the transmitters, and that's a much higher quality. So my concern when I was considering the wireless stuff is that I've already had a few little wireless quirks when I'm using these things, and if you don't have a backup, you're kind of stuck with the audio at in that case. So maybe it's these are just like not amazing wirelessly, which is a negative, but having that built-in track you can do. So for example, I just turn this on. I'm pressing the wrong button. So this is on, and then I think it's holding the other button down. Yeah, so now it's recording internally in here, and it actually has a built-in microphone as well. And then you can get a little, it comes with a thing to put on here for outdoors, so it doesn't scrape as much or make wind noise. So yeah, and then there is also a noise reduction feature. So if I tap it once, let me see if it, or maybe it's this button. I don't remember. It's one of the buttons, but I tried the noise reduction on here and it didn't sound amazing, so I don't use that. But what I do is that I do the internal recording just in case, and then I would generally use that to make a video from a stream or something. And I have to do noise reduction to the recording in here, but it's high quality, so it works nicely. Yeah. But probably the like best for a creator would be I think it's the Lark 2 Max. One of the Hollylands does 32-bit recordings, which are super high quality. Let's see. 32-bit. But it's very expensive. Might be, I think it was 300 something. Yeah, I don't even see it in here. There's a bunch of other brands too. DJI. They make some that are nice. And then Rode makes some good wireless microphones too. But I think maybe Hollyland's the only one so far that has the 32-bit. And it does internal recording in the transmitters too. Lark M2. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, so that has 8 gigabytes per transmitter. Oops. Anyways, if I were to spend a lot of money, I would probably go for this one. But these are good enough for what I do. Could look at Rode. .24-bit would be good enough for you. Yeah. So the benefit of the 32-bit is that if you accidentally were to peak on a standard setup, you could deal with it in post generally with the 32-bit recording. Of course, there's like some technical, physical things to consider with that, but usually they're designed in a way to they have a lot more range to them, which is why people use that stuff. But yeah, $300, $400. So you have to really know that you want it to justify the cost. Let's see. So Rode has a good amount, and they do sell some of these like at Best Buy and such. And I think Best Buy might even have the DJI stuff. So $200 for a wireless Go 2 setup. Obviously, they're a lot more expensive than these newer ones. But yeah, I haven't used these, so I can't really say if it's better or worse or what. But I think Rode is a Australian company. Not sure. Anyways, let me see if there's any new cameras. Digital cameras. Nice thing with B&H's website is they have a sort by newest. Now there's nothing since I've looked at it. Good old Leica $8,000 camera. Yeah. Do they have a tripod connection? Let me see. Whoops. I think they just have a clip, right? It doesn't show it. Yeah, the Rode should be very nice for you. Only the clip. Yeah, I think your idea is probably the best option. Same set. Okay, yeah, those are very nice. Those should be very nice for you. Let's see. They might even sell like some type of mounting thing. Probably these ones. Okay. Yeah. It is odd to me why they wouldn't add another way to connect it to a camera. I mean, it's the same situation with these newer ones. Let's see if they have any extra. Nope. I mean, what you could consider. The problem is, you could do Velcro. You know, there's Velcro with one. They're both sticky on the opposite sides, but I wouldn't want to put it directly onto your, onto your camera, unless there's some type of like no residue version. But even then, that doesn't always mean no residue. Yeah, the same idea. The double Velcro thing. Maybe you could get like a little tripod connection thing, and then attach it to that. Probably, I think having an actual strap would probably make more sense. So. Whoops. Yeah. Probably be an option. Do a half case, or like a silicone case. It wouldn't make it that much bigger, and then you could attach Velcro or something to it. You could even like make a hole into the silicone and then loop through it. So it's more affixed. I think that could work, but I mean, it doesn't look like amazing. And it might, like thermally, the camera might overheat faster with this thing on it. Yeah. Could be decent. And then if you drop it, I mean, you're going to have a better chance of saving the camera, but hopefully that never happens. Looks okay. I have a green one. Yeah, that might work. Kind of like the green one. There's a brown and two different black versions. Oh, black without the lens cover. And then with the lens cover. Kind of like this one. Oh, it's a flap. That's kind of goofy. Yeah, that might work. Half cases are nice too. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Get easily connected to one of these. Here's the official one. So this would probably have the best fit to it. It does look a little bit thinner, but it's $100. Yeah, that doesn't... Oh. That's pretty nice, but expensive. Although, I mean, with how much you spent on the camera, I don't know if another $100 would make much of a difference. So that would probably have the best fit to it. Yep. Definitely could attach it to these straps or something. Should be good there. All right. Let me check real quick. Yeah. Right? And it'll protect the camera too a little bit, which is good. So there are no new cameras that I haven't looked at recently, but the Canon R6 Mark III came out recently. It's a large mirrorless camera, full frame. Pretty cool. I used to use Canon a fair amount, but after they discontinued it was called the EFM mount. I haven't used them since then. Though I don't have much access to equipment so these days, so I just pretty much just look at stuff rather than try it. Let's see. Let's check out the lenses. Mirrorless lenses. Yeah, this was a very interesting option too. So the cool thing about this lens is, besides the price, which is very reasonable for what it is. I mean, optically, I've seen some videos and it's not like amazing optically, but even so, it's a 45mm, which is a pretty normal focal length. But the interesting thing is it's a f1.2 aperture lens. So it's a very, very large aperture for a lens, maximum. So with that large aperture plus the price, it's a super interesting option for people now on this mount. So at any point, if I were able to check out Canon stuff, I would definitely want to check this lens out. It's decently small too for what it is. And that was a surprising release by Canon, because generally f1.2 lenses probably be like $2,000 of autofocus one. Still pretty cool if it's not like perfect optically. Rokinon is a third-party manufacturer. I don't think I've ever used any of their autofocus stuff. So this is for, let me see if it's a full, yeah, it's a full frame capable lens. That's the larger sensor size. But of course it can be used on APS-C stuff. 24 to 60 is a decent range. f2.8 is a good starting aperture, but it's of course very expensive. And it's a third-party lens, so it's kind of like, do you want to spend that much if it's not from Sony? Viltrox has sent me some stuff in the past. Actually, this little lens here is a Viltrox Sony E-mount. It's got this, oops, what side is it on? Sorry, I'm burping. A little slide for the lens cover. Pretty cool. They had sent me this, I don't know, a year or two ago at this point. Nice little lens. It's optically, it's not amazing or anything, but it's kind of meant to be a trade-off with size versus quality. It does autofocus, but it doesn't do manual focus at all. So it's kind of a weird quirk. This is a 7 Artisans lens. This was also sent to me at one point. It's 85. But yeah, Viltrox, I've seen some reports that this has firmware issues right now. So that's kind of one of the downsides of third-party lenses sometimes, because I don't think Viltrox has an official okay from Nikon to actually produce lenses for their mount. So you get weird issues like that, which will probably be fixed over time, but people need to kind of know what they're getting into in those situations. Yeah, just a bunch of interesting third-party options. Yongnuo. TT Artisan. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna end stream here. Fun little unboxing and trying out that little memory card reader. Like I said, from Five Below, it's surprisingly functional. It's pretty quick to read raw photos off of it into the phone. And surprisingly enough, you can use one of the memory cards and also use the USB port at the same time. Yeah, nice. Thanks for hanging out. It's nice to actually talk to someone in these live streams. But pretty cool little device and cheap. All right, gonna head out. Peace. I've got the wrong set. Let's see, can I switch this? Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go back to that end screen. See ya.